Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Today we have our official WWE Backlash predictions. Folks, massive, what's even more massive than that is what's on the line, and that is the SCW Championship that will be defended this Saturday on the live stream, aka watch party that we will have right here on the Stache Club Wrestling channel together, watching Backlash. So it's big. So this is to determine I'm the number one contender coming off the quiz. It is massive. I'm very excited. I'm more excited for that than Backlash in general, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, no question. We're the stars of this show.
Exactly.
And you know what? Like you said, you earned a number one contenders match. Mm-hmm. You try to bait me into putting the title on the line, John.
Okay. And bait's a strong word. Okay.
And I said no. Even though I said I was going to be a fighting champion, I thought maybe you got to earn a little bit, and you did in that quiz. Apparently, Jimmy Uso's theme song is a banger, but you know, I disagree. You might disagree too. But anyway, yeah, Backlash this Saturday, big time. We're doing predictions today, and you know, for your WrestleMania 41, you lost your mustache. You
yes,
did.
sir.
It's coming in pretty nicely,
yes,
though,
sir.
But you put the stakes on the line, and I'm desperate to keep this title.
Okay.
This Saturday, and I mean it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm also going to up the stakes. Okay. Are you ready for this?
No.
Look the other way.
Okay. What is he doing? I'm nervous. I hope it's something I can say. I'm awfully scared.
Okay, look at me.
I don't want to look yet because there's something you put over your face or there's something. Okay, I'm going to look. Are you ready for me to look?
Yeah.
Whoa! Oh, yeah. How'd you...
So for Backlash 2025...
You got a gimp suit.
For
Cool.
For Backlash 2025...
Sounds so stupid. It's so funny.
If I lose this title, I will set myself on fire.
That's a huge stake.
And I mean it too. And I mean it. I'm so serious. I will do it. If I lose this title, which means so much to me, I will set myself on fire.
Because what's the point at that point? You know? You might as well just set yourself on fire.
I mean, there's nothing
That's
to live
so
for
funny.
after that. Are you kidding me?
you just get that in the
came in the mail,
yeah. Itching to use that as a prop.
Well, the thing is, it was my backup plan if I were to lose my gorgeous beard and mustache, but I kept it because I'm the Stache Club champion. I won at WrestleMania. Also,
so good.
It meant a lot to me that you were a man of your word and you shaved your mustache. So also for Backlash 2025.
What now?
I'm putting up my John Cena signed Marine DVD copy.
Whoa!
Yeah, signed by John Cena himself.
Wait, what's signed about it? Like the CD?
His signature is right up front.
What?
Yeah, he signed it himself.
I don't see it. What are you talking about?
John Cena. He signed it.
Yeah, but where's the signature?
You can't see it.
Ah! Boo!
But it's on the line, folks.
I was like, it's like, oh, let me see it. Why is this thing's gone through fucking hell?
Yeah, no, it's been.
At this
yeah,
thing.
I don't know. I found it the other day. I found Crush Hour and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. It was a great pull from.
A CD in it?
Yes, there is. Okay. Oh, yeah. And it's on the line for sure. I'm not sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's great film. Check it out.
See, I've definitely seen it. Damn. So the stakes are risen.
Huge.
If Jimmy loses, he not only is set on fire, set ablaze, if you will, but while he's set on fire, he has to give me his unrated copy, which is rare. Signed apparently, of John Cena's The Marine, as well as giving up the SCW Championship. A lot of stakes this Saturday, so folks, please be there on Saturday. Check it out. I'll schedule a thing soon. You know, you'll see it. But well, I was gonna say without further ado, a little more ado. Folks, we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. This is today's free episode. We are going to be chatting more random stuff over on the Patreon, wrestling questions, blah, blah. So check that out. $5 a month. You get the whole back catalog as well. Merch in the description, Fanatics affiliate link that we would appreciate you using if you want to pick up some WWE gear. And yeah, it's summertime. We have some Sweep City t-shirts left on the website. We have some hats, koozies. Shout out Sophie. So yeah, all right. Without further ado, I think we can. Unless you have any more bits. No more bits. No more
bits. No more tricks.
Here's the thing, and I appreciate a bit. I appreciate as many bits as possible. Okay. We'll jump to Backlash predictions starting now. We will do the confidence points, but here's the thing. Today is Tuesday. This admittedly is not going to get... This isn't going to come out till Wednesday. Scheduling is kind of coming out. Yays and Boos is starting to become a thing. So Yays and Boos came out Tuesday morning. This is coming out Wednesday morning. Regardless, that doesn't really mean anything. But regardless... Logan versus Jay. We were kind of talking about this off camera. Logan versus Jay, just like it probably isn't even on Backlash.
Apparently not. I thought it was set in stone. I thought they basically made graphics. I guess I'm losing my mind. I do watch the show. I promise you. I've been really into it recently, especially Monday Night Raw on Netflix. But yeah, I guess Logan Paul and Logan Paul and Jey Uso might not happen on Backlash.
I don't know. They just haven't made it official. Yeah. There's no graphic. There's a Saturday night's main event coming up. I was pretty shocked that we got Seth versus Jay to close the show. I was just like, in terms like for the world title, I was like, but Logan still has the. So I don't know. I don't know if Logan's just like touting himself as the number one contender. I don't know. It's all bullshit. I don't know. So as of now, we are doing 5 official matches for Backlash?
Sounds like it, yeah.
5 or 6. We're going through those. We're going to do confidence points. But point being, if anything changes or gets added by the time Saturday rolls around, we're going to change them on the fly. We'll change them before the live stream and kind of let everyone know and whatever, and add stuff or subtract stuff, especially if a Jey Uso match gets added. Confidence points, I'm going to do at the end, because admittedly, I don't have them prepared. So I think we'll do our predictions at the end of the show, kind of give those out, and then go from there.
Awesome.
All right. Enough blabbering from me. I got my phone out because this is where I'm writing my predictions down, so no one yell at me. First match we're going to talk about, and we'll also kind of bob and weave throughout Raw last night. So we'll probably be able to talk about it, like, depending on how long predictions take. What a great Raw last night. Jesus. Yes. I mean, the main event was a banger. Jey Uso can wrestle. Go watch Yays and Boos.
Yep.
Io versus Roxanne tore it down.
Yeah,
that was great.
We're eating.
Sheamus is back. Rusev versus Otis was pretty entertaining. Needed 5 more minutes for me. Yeah,
McAfee
stuff.
Was yapping. Kind of nice
McAfee
little promo.
was solid. McAfee
nice
was very
little piece
solid.
of business.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we'll kind of bleed into all that. But regardless, first match. Announced pretty out of the blue last night. We are getting Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for Dom's Intercontinental Championship. I am stoked that this is happening. We're coming off of the Fatal 4-Way match. Penta obviously involved in that, so this is kind of still bleed off from Mania, which I appreciate. Which is really like the only like quote unquote backlash match from Mania. You know what I mean? Granted, I guess it's not tagged as WrestleMania Backlash anymore.
Right. Well, the Fatal 4-Way got Drew and Damian in there, so kind of a little revisiting that a little bit.
What are Drew and Damian doing? Are Drew and Damian on this card?
Yeah, the Fatal 4-Way.
The Fatal 4 for the U.S.
and
title.
Jacob in LA
Okay,
too,
you're right.
So a little bit of backlash.
Little tiny bit of backlash. Okay, do you have anything off the top of your head? Do you have a pick here? A gut reaction? Who are you going with?
Yeah, so this was kind of sudden, but I'll take it. We got 2 Intercontinental title matches on this card.
Yeah,
Penta, I've been calling him the MVP of Raw every week, and he still has that title. But Dirty Dom, that's my boy. But you gotta tell you, like, I kind of made this point last week, like, a one-on-one contest between Dom and almost any other wrestler. I'm kind of confident in the other wrestler.
I know.
But Dom, maybe this, and I want a long title reign for Dom. That being said, I think I'm gonna go Dom here.
Okay.
And here's the thing though, maybe Penta could win via DQ, which that would be kind of unfortunate to have a DQ on the card. But you got to think that just because the Judgment Day, how many you got JD McDonough lurking, Carlito lurking, you got all these guys lurking some pieces, and of course too, who's to say who can make the save for Penta? Maybe his brother. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go Dom, lie, cheating, and stealing his way to victory.
I also have Dom. I like it was such a feel good moment at Mania. It's too early for him to lose the title just winning it. I think there's so many legs with this Dom IC title run. I don't think it's ending here. As much as I'm right with you. Penta is my fucking guy. As much as I want to see him win. Last night on Raw, Finn Balor was wearing a Dirty Dom shirt, the Latino Heat one. So I don't know. And like you said, like that's kind of the story, right? Is maybe Finn gets involved and costs Dom the title. Like I could see that happening. I just don't want Dom to lose the title outright. There's so much we can do with it. I did think, I was thinking about it earlier. I made a video on it or something. And I was pretty convinced that Penta would be eventually the guy to take it off him. So I'm kind of surprised we're getting this one-on-one match this early, but I'm not one to complain about it. There's much weirder stuff on this Backlash card. I'm right there with you. I'm going with Dom. If Penta wins, I'll be happy. A little, definitely sad for Dom, but I'm excited for this. This will be fun. Like you said, I think there's gonna be so much involvement. Yeah. There's gonna be so much stuff, and I would like. Ray and Penta have been kind of like mentioning each other a little bit now. So I wouldn't be surprised maybe if there's like maybe Phoenix runs in for the save like you were saying. I don't know, but I'm excited for this. This could steal the show, to be honest with you. But I'm going Dom. Like I said, I'll do my confidence picks kind of at the end. I don't really have them. If you have yours, by all means, or if you want to save it.
So out of the 5 matches that we have confirmed, I'm gonna put a confidence points wager, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
3.
It's fair.
That's my 3 right there, because I think Penta could win this match very well. I mean, he is the better wrestler. He looked great on Raw against JD with that crazy
fun match.
That move on the apron. I'm blanking on the name of it, but he just slammed JD's head on the apron, which is crazy.
And a Mexican Destroyer won a match.
Oh yeah,
loved it. Someone on stream said that's like when Seth wins with the Falcon Arrow, or when Sammy wins the Blue Thunder Bomb. It's like okay, it's one of their coolest and like I guess most powerful moves, if you want to say. But yeah, I'm glad he pulled that out and won that. That was a fun match too. Again, Raw last night. Jesus Christ,
really good. And Liv's shooting that movie, so Dom doesn't have old liver to fall back on. I don't just call her liver.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Have we talked about like the movie? Did we talk about that last week? Or did that not come out yet? When the announcement?
I don't think so.
Like I'll say this. It's like awesome, great, like good for her. I'm happy. Like I do think she's gonna be a star. She's born for the silver screen, right? God, those dirt sheets hyped up, whatever that means. Like they're like, this is gonna be a game changer. She's gonna be the new it girl. Granted, it is attached to like a really, really great director, but it is just like a reprised thing of like a 90s movie franchise or whatever, Bad Lieutenant. So it's like people were like, Batman or Marvel or something that's like,
And even before that, there was a report like she's about to have a big week. So it's kind of ambiguous there, where it's like, what does a big week mean for Liv Morgan? But then the movie role, and the movie role to me a bit, it's not really something I have heard of, but again, apparently a really good director, and she'll probably kill it.
That's the thing. It's all positive things. It is just so funny. I like all the dirt she's made it seem like she's gonna be the next Margot Robbie or fucking come out of this. And it's like, I don't know if the Bad Lieutenant is doing that, but I don't know. All right, we'll move on to there's some bonus points that will kind of decide on the fly, but we'll just go right to the United States Championship match. And speaking of a match that could steal the show, honestly, with you, this Backlash card shaping out, there's like a lot of weird stuff, but like this later stuff that got added, great. We have the champ, Drew McIntyre, versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. I know who I'm going with. I'm going with and sticking with Jacob Fatu. Granted, sure, are we getting title defenses? Is a little boring, maybe, but we are still, I would consider, a handful of weeks from Mania, right? Like this is. Mania was what was it, like the 20th?
3 or 4 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and usually PLEs aren't that close to each other. So like this one just happened to be so close. This is kind of the case with Backlash, and why I think they, like last year, the year before, they named it like WrestleMania Backlash. It's hard to do something monumental or get the title off someone when like they just won it at the big one, and that like with a Dom or a Jacob. I don't think there's any reason for most of these champions to lose their titles here. So I'm going Jacob, as much as I would love a Drew McIntyre to run with it. He's honestly my second pick.
That would get him the Grand Slam too.
Ooh. Yeah. I honestly don't give a shit about the other two getting it. Damian, sure, whatever. LA Knight doesn't need it at this point. To get it again. It's Damian or Jacob, but I think Jacob's on a roll. It's the same argument with Dom. There's so many more legs with Jacob, but who do you got and why?
I'm going all gas, no brakes. I'm right there with you going Jacob, but I'm going just one confidence point on this.
That's not crazy.
You got 3 other opponents in here. Mm-hmm. Also, you have that jealous cousin that no one likes, Solo Sikoa, who on SmackDown set his boy up, being like, "Oh, you know, Nick Aldis, you're trying to screw Jacob, this and that." oh, and then Nick retorted right back to him and goes, no, Solo, it's you because because of you, I've just now added Drew McIntyre to this match, which, by the way, again, if he gets this win, it completes the Grand Slam, and then maybe he can break off and feud with LA Knight, because I think that feud would be great. It has potential legs. Maybe that could be for the U.S. title, and then Jacob would break off and start feuding with Solo. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I love the fantasy book, and but I'm so excited for this match. I have 4 very good wrestlers and big stars that all have stories underlining, and Damian Priest too has been really impressing me with his work. I think who did he have a match against SmackDown? Kind of blanking on that a little bit, but he performed quite well, and I'm looking forward to this match.
It's weird, like we are. And not in a bad way or a good way, we are crawling to Jacob versus Solo. I thought we were getting that at Mania. It's not even at Backlash. So I hope it's for the title, and then Jacob retains against Solo. Like you're kind of saying, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I have Jacob here.
I've been loving Jacob's been really putting him in his place a little bit.
I know, like Solo's really been the right hand man to Jacob. Jacob is now, I would say, the tribal chief, or the or whatever, unless Roman kind of is really holding on to that moniker.
Right.
But I love this. Like you said, all four guys are great. Honestly, like a Drew win would be electric.
Yeah.
I think as much as I was like, and I'm slowly rolling back this opinion where it's like, it's just the same argument for like Becky going after the IC title, and it's Drew going after the US. Or people did make note of like, well, a few years ago, like you did have Cena with the US, you had AJ Styles with the US, where it's like it does help elevate it, and not everyone can go after the world title. Like, so I'm kind of slowly rolling back on my opinion of like, oh, if you're a former world champion, you shouldn't be involved in the mid card. That's not always true. I think that is true for some cases. Like I think when like Bayley was going after the title, like that seemed a little like out of place or whatever. One of the mid card titles, but so I think Drew winning it would elevate it, and I don't think that's like a step down. Like I kind of maybe previously was kind of saying, but regardless, Jacob Fatu.
I share the same sentiment as you with the big stars going for the mid card titles. That's why the world heavyweight title, when that was created, kind of bothered me, because you did so much work elevating the IC and the US title. Where when that title, the world title, was created, it's kind of like, okay, now they're even downer a peg. So like that. Yeah, that kind of frustrated me. But we're here now, and they're still very meaningful titles. So I
think at least at this point, like the world title is a title I've never seen it. Like it's fluctuated so much. Where now we're pretty. I'd say it's pretty up there again. But like, yeah, you're right. It's like it was already pretty close to a mid card title. So I'm adding mid card titles. It's like, oh, what's the real discrepancy?
Yeah, two world champions. I always kind of compare it to, there's a saying in football, like when you have 2 quarterbacks on the roster that are pretty good, you got no quarterbacks. But
there's 2 quarterbacks, they're pretty good.
For like leadership, because quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader, you're supposed to be the main guy. So if you have two kind of studs, and you kind of go back and forth, like which one should start, which one is like the main champ? Because to me, there's only one world champion. That's the WWE Championship. That's kind of a hot take of mine.
It's especially if the brand split was more solidified and more of like, which granted, like they are very Raw is kicking SmackDown's ass
big time, overtime,
but it still doesn't feel like 2 separate shows. Like, I mean, it's a different conversation, but like it used to be. So like, it does seem like, I don't know. And either like, especially at this, you're not the legacy, but even if just look at the last 4 years, like the WWE title between Roman and Cody, it's like the world title is just not touching that. No. So I don't know, but it feels solid now.
Definitely.
All right, we'll move on to what the also I want to shout the Discord. This is what I'm kind of going through. So shout the Discord. Get in the Discord either via Patreon or via becoming a member here, because they do predictions in there, and it's a good time, and they work really hard at it. Anyway, we have it's called the If I Die, I Die match. Who wins? Gunther versus Pat McAfee. And the options whoever made this is A, Gunther, or B, McAfee's shambling corpse. I don't know what shambling means. They had I like their a promo of a lot of contention last night. I've been seeing online of people there's some yays and there's some boos about it. I don't know. What are your thoughts overall? Maybe just start with the promo. How was that like the promo?
Dude, Pat has cut back-to-back fantastic promos. I think, it's something different. And I think it's definitely a story being told about Gunther and where he is, being someone that just lost his world title. And for some of the points that Pat was making, him being kind of soft, I sort of agree with. He just got choked out by Jey Uso at WrestleMania in 2 seconds when he put the sleeper hold on you. But yeah, I think this could be something of an upset. I think Pat McAfee is no slouch. I think Gunther definitely would be underestimating him, just like Gunther underestimated Jey Uso, just like when Gunther underestimated Sami Zayn. And I think this could be the kind of like, oh my God, rock bottom moment that Gunther's like, holy crap, I am soft.
Yeah, I do have straw broke the camel's back situation.
I do have to kind of rebirth myself in a sense, because if I just lost to Pat McAfee, now how I think it might happen, I think
that's your official pick, Pat over Gunther.
Pat McAfee over Gunther. I'm going big time upset.
If that happens, I will light myself on fire. I'll tell you that right now.
I wouldn't blame you. I think a lot of people would, but I think that's what they're going for, the reaction.
Yeah.
And I always kind of point Triple H and Shawn Michaels love when they have the pen going back to callbacks into their career. Can I tell you something that maybe you don't know, or if you do know, it's maybe from the video games commentary. Do you know who has a pinfall victory over Triple H?
Go ahead. I don't know.
Good old Jim Ross.
Oh, crazy.
One of the greatest commentators of all time. You know who might get a victory over Gunther, a Backlash? Pat McAfee. And I think it's going to be because just like in that match against for Jim Ross versus Triple H, Batista interfered.
Whoa.
I think we're going to get Goldberg interfering. Or there's been some talks about Lesnar. I don't know, because he's been posted on YouTube from the WWE account, whatever. But I think more so it makes sense with Goldberg because of the feud that wasn't picked up upon a few months ago with them kind of beefing or whatever. And I would assume to be Goldberg's last match. Maybe Goldberg for Gunther. And maybe Gunther gets some momentum then in that match when at SummerSlam. But I'm swinging for the fences here.
Wow.
I might have to light myself on fire because I picked Pat McAfee. But I'm going Pat McAfee. I'm putting 3 confidence points on my boy.
You already got your 3. You put your 3 on...
Oh, what did I do then? Oh, my bad. Thank you for clarifying.
You just put 5 on this.
No, I put 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm smart. I'm smart.
Okay.
I put 2. I put 3 on Dom, 2 on Pat, 1 on Jacob.
All right. So you got 5 points on this.
Yep.
There's a lot here. There's a lot here. Like you said, there's like Goldberg implications. A lot of people are also saying like this is also called a swan song if you want, but this could probably be Pat's like final match. Like to me, this seems like Pat wanted one more. And they're granting him that because of the work he's done over the years, as much as maybe he's kind of, his stock's risen and gone down and stuff. And I've had my weeks where I'm like, Jesus, Pat, okay, like on commentary. But ultimately, he's been a positive overall addition with all of his contributions, or most of his contributions, I should say. So to me, this screams, yeah, Pat wants one more. Let's give him Gunther. And not that like it needs to be a big deal for Pat. Like this isn't like this is like an Undertaker retirement match, This is just Pat McAfee, like maybe getting one more. See, my only problem with I liked Pat. A lot of people didn't like Pat's promo. I like Pat's promo. It all makes sense. He's just a good talker. Yes. Do I think it was like material wise and content wise? I think it was the best. No, but like it doesn't need to be necessarily when you're that good, just like to speak and moving the crowd. And people were kind of complaining about like the cheap pops, which like. He's like the college game day football guy. So it's like that makes sense. He's going to call out the football guys or like, do some fucking World Series shit. I was 50-50, which you did bring up a good point where he did get choked out by Jay. But I think in story, like that wasn't a weak point because Jay is built up as like this guy now. Because also, he was calling him soft and like whatever. Where meanwhile, and like, depending on how much you really want to take this into play, 5 or 6 weeks ago, he did bloody Big Jim to a pulp and handcuff Jay. So I think there's a little bit of disconnection, at least for me, in terms of like the calling him soft and whatever. But you're right, he is coming off a loss. So like, and at the end of the day, it is against a Jey Uso. That's maybe not he's not a Undertaker or a Roman or whatever.
The theme for his world title run, though, was that of sort of like not being as strong as his IC title run. So I think
he's lost his confidence.
Yeah, slowly but surely. And then, of course, the pinnacle was losing the title at Mania to Jay. And a move like Jay Uso doesn't have, like, the Taz mission. That's not his finisher. Right. You know what I mean? Even though when he put it on Seth Rollins last night, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I need this. Maybe the exact opposite of your thinking. I need Gunther to brutalize Pat McAfee. Just beat him down.
Yeah. I could see that happening too, but you got 5 matches on the card, and like we've kind of shared a little bit. We think there's gonna be a lot of title retains, and I think for it to which kind of can be looked at as disappointing or
like not unpredictability.
You need some like a big crowd pop, like or when I think of Backlash 2025. Remember Pat McAfee somehow beat Gunther, and then and again I'm more so saying that because I think. I can totally envision him getting crucified, murdered, bloody to a pulp, retired for good, and then the return of save of someone attacking Gunther. But I think this might be like during the match, and then Pat's limp body just being thrown over Gunther.
Here's the thing: I do think. Like that's kind of like my want, but I do think they're gonna give Pat a lot of offense, which I don't know how much I'm gonna love, but they're gonna. Which I do want to see a swanton. I'll be lying. I'd be lying if you said I didn't want to see like him jump off or do a fucking moonsault, whatever. I do think they're gonna give Pat a lot of offense, which I don't love. A lot in the sense of like a lot more than you'd expect. Like not like crazy.
One thing with Pat is I feel like in my head it's legit because of when he does the punt. If an former NFL punter were to kick you in the head, that's gonna hurt more than if some regular Joe Schmo kicked you in the head. But
it is Pat. It's not. Hey, it's no Adam Vinatieri. It is Pat McAfee at the end of the day.
That's true. That's true. He's also been retired for a long time, hitting the Benjamin, just yapping on his talk show, drinking beers. So he's not technically in probably world class shape, but he's got the ring set up on his podcast. Big time star. I'm excited for this.
What I did like about Gunther's rebuttal in the promo is him like, Pat was kind of being all just like, I'm going to get your ass. And Gunther just like, so you saw your daughter this week.
Yeah.
You're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, basically just saying like, I'm going to rip your fucking head off this week. I'm going to kill you. You're not going to be alive after this. And then like, I think that was great where Pat came in all just like, being Pat or whatever. Gunther just brought him down, just like, no, I'm going to destroy you. And then him like going back to commentary and just being like, hey, Cole. He said something funny. He was like, oh, I think it was complimenting me or something.
I know Michael Cole kept just like bringing that home all Monday Night Raw long. Like, you got a match this weekend, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he was like yeeting and he was like, careful, you got to be in shape for you know what? I mean, like, I could even see like, this is just us fancy booking now, but I could even see like Gunther is destroying McAfee, right? And then Michael Cole runs in and like shields himself with his, but you know what I mean?
Now we're cooking.
And then maybe that means like a Goldberg where it's maybe just like one more added thing to like get to the Goldberg stuff.
I mean, we've said Michael Cole's the number one babyface in the whole company, apparently.
Right.
So
so yeah, there's a lot. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't like looking forward to this. I don't think it's gonna be a classic. I don't think it's gonna be a banger, but like it is just weird and interesting enough. While like I think I said this on Yays and Booze too, where it's like I am also with the crowd of, and it's kind of the elephant in the room of like, we do have just the color commentary guy wrestling in the shadow now of all these like releases, right? So you release all this talent, and then you put some, because of like, oh, we have a bloated roster, and it's people, the claim is like maybe it's due to injuries or people not being used.
They brought in a lot of people too recently,
right? I guess we didn't really talk about like Alberto Del Rio now has a WWE contract.
Yeah, I'm still holding judgment, hoping that there's some kind of weird like they want to get the title off him and then they'll cut him, because that makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever.
So yeah, it's like all that the weird Alberto Del Rio like keeping them after all the releases, and then plus you're having the color commentary guy in a match and in a show that only has 5 matches.
No, totally.
So like, and then like the other side of the coin is yes, like at least he is trained. He does he had a great NXT. It's not like he's like, they're not throwing Michael Cole back in there. But that's why this match is like, it's controversial, it's weird, it's interesting, it's fun in some way, a lot of ways. So it's like, there's so much stuff. And I think it's what, just kind of take it that step further, what you were kind of saying, talked about Goldberg stuff, to really just put it over that edge, to make it just stranger and like a little more, even that much more controversial. Is there going to be that Goldberg interference? Are we leading to a Goldberg Gunther thing? Is it like The Rock, where The Rock just showed up and that didn't fucking mean anything? Or are we actually going to have plans for Goldberg when he showed up at whatever that was, Saturday Night's Main Event fucking months ago?
Right.
I don't know. There's a lot here. I don't think I made my pick was Gunther. If I didn't say it,
true.
It was on paper. I have Gunther. I don't think it's going to be super lopsided, but I do think it'll get to a point where like we're getting some back and forth and then it shifts. And then, Pat slips and then it's just some fucking do. But if Pat McAfee wins, that is first of all, I'm pretty sure you're going to retain that title. So that could be, retaining off of Pat McAfee will be very fun. So I don't know, a lot here. I'm curious what everyone else's thoughts on this, because there's obviously a lot. And obviously I think maybe we'll take this time, because I don't want to brush over the releases. I did kind of talk about it on SmackDown Yays and Boos. But ultimately, at bare bones, I don't think we're not going to get into like the weeds of it, because ultimately it is just real people losing their real jobs, and a lot of people that we thought maybe had a little more potential in the company, and some other just shocking stuff. And then also like people lost their coworkers, like on both sides of the coin. So it sucks. We're not here necessarily to comment on like, this person, this but yeah, so our thoughts go out to everyone. It sucks whenever stuff like this happens, and seeing kind of the background of it, of just what's happening at Backlash, and like what the company's been doing for the past month. It's just none of it is great to see.
Very yucky.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have more? I don't know.
I think it sucks when anyone loses their job, and it's the worst. But however, I do have a lot of confidence and optimism in the people that released, because they're in their talents and what have you, but also you're coming off being a part of the biggest wrestling company in the world, and you're gonna be a big fish in small pond if you choose to go to that route. If you want, if some of these talents go to TNA, I think some of them will kill it in TNA. I think Dakota Kai would be great in AEW.
I agree.
I'm sure she'll do some Deadlock Pro stuff. Strowman, he's been in the company for 10 years. He's had a great run. But yeah, honestly, I can definitely see with how many people do get in the Hall of Fame. I could see him being a Hall of Famer one day. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's been done before. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, like so many people that get released, and then Matt Cardona. So that prosper on the indies and other promotions, and then they come back and they're even bigger stars. So
yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that was kind of the other point. I'm just like, yeah, I do believe the grass will be greener for most, if not all, of the talent. And that's why, again, not to get on the soapbox, like that's why having like the wrestling industry not be a monopoly and not just have one company owning the entire industry is so important. And why, it's always like why are you rooting for the downfall of an AEW or whatever, where it's like, if you want to see your favorite wrestlers compete and live out their dream still and make money at the thing that they do, having a AEW, ROH, TNA, strong indie scene, DPW, like you said, GCW, having all this other stuff for people to go to, where WWE is not the only option, is so important. You look at a Dijak, and he's like, I would say currently right now, I guess him next to Matt Cardona is the front runner of like advocates for like, you don't need that one big company. You don't even need a company. You can make a living and make a good living grinding on the indies if that's what you want to do, So, whether that's to say like, if you sign with an AEW or you stay on the indies, whatever. But yeah, so I think that's why.
I've been meaning to go to an indie show and stuff like, if they can get a big name for whatever promotion local it is, it's like, tonight we're having Braun Strowman come by. Like, that's going to sell
Sure,
tickets. That's going
right.
to move numbers. That will move me
Yeah.
or Dakota Kai or Cora Jade, which I think Cora Jade should go to TNA personally. But I think a lot of these wrestlers will prosper in their future endeavors. So
we'll get you doing an indie show. You stick with me. We'll get you doing an indie show. That show would rock.
Hell yeah.
Last year, me and my friends, you would have loved this. We went to you know anything about Worcester at all? Like any spots in Worcester?
I've been to one show in Worcester, like a SmackDown.
Yeah. Okay. So there's this diner. I don't know how specific I want to get, but Worcester's known as like a wrestling town. Like they have like Wrestle Open every single week. Anyway, there's this one spot where they had wrestling outside. It was in the summer. It was at this like dive bar, and it was you know who the Glitter Boys are?
I don't think so.
They're like a Boston based like DJ duo, and they do like they spin like 80s vinyl, right?
Okay.
So it was a Wrestle Open show mixed with a DJ set from the Glitter Boys. So they had this outside show, and the ring is just like in the parking lot. It's like a dirt parking lot. It fucking rocked. Cheap beers, and then like afterward they had the stage where like they're playing 80s fucking vinyl.
Oh my god,
it fucking rocked.
Sounds like heaven.
We'll get you like a Focus Pro show or something.
Definitely.
But all right. Anyway, we'll move on. So officially, like I said, I'm doing my confidence points after, but officially I have Gunther, you have Pat. I'm glad we differentiated on one at this point. Okay. Next, we have for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, we have Lyra Valkyria, the champion, versus Becky Lynch. I don't know where I'm at on this. I admittedly, like, again, I said this, I don't love this build. I think Becky's not the strongest part of this. Lyra, I don't really have much to say about. Lyra has just been great. Lyra's been solid on the mic. I would say more than impressive on the mic. In ring, these two are going to be great. Like at bare minimum, the story of just like kind of prodigy sort of thing is like, the prodigy outgrowing the master or whatever has been great. I haven't been convinced or been enjoying this Becky heel turn. The Bayley stuff just seems shoehorned and pretty random. So to me, this is a instance of the match will deliver and be fun. I don't super care about the build. Where are you at? Because I got to kind of think through who I want officially.
How dare you? Do you not appreciate people that take out the garbage? Becky Lynch is doing you a favor.
I did like
She's
that part,
doing you a favor, taking out the garbage.
And
Bayley's garbage. The way she says garbage too, I can't do it obviously, but it was so funny. I was just laughing. So the Becky Lynch heel turn, you're not a big fan of it. Is it like kind of like? Now, are you getting worked a little bit? You think because like you're not supposed to like heel turns,
right?
You're supposed to. So are you kind of like direction wise?
I don't think it's connected.
It's coming out of nowhere, right?
It's coming out of nowhere. It's not, and I don't even dislike Becky as a heel. I just think the man character works better when you're like in the middle. Like she can still be. I mean, I guess like you'd technically be a face, but like. I don't, and Lyra even kind of said like, made reference to like, hey, you've been doing this man shtick for like 6 years at this point, so I don't know, whatever it is just not connecting with me. I think Becky is just a better face, or like that like kind of middleman thing, but I don't know. And I like Becky. I'm not a Becky hater, but I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
The promo last night I really enjoyed. It was cracking me up. The whole garbage stuff. I think too this match.
She's so funny. I think that's the thing. Is like she's so funny, and she doesn't get to be that funny when she's a heel. Maybe that's part of it.
And
I
think like it's playing into too a little bit of Becky's kind of. The fan base of the WWE universe kind of being a little tired of Becky Lynch, and it's
Becky Hogan.
Yeah, I think what it played back to too is like when Charlotte came back, I think they really thought like, oh, she's gonna be cheered as a face, and her feud with Tiffany Stratton, she'd be the good guy in that. But she came back, and they're like, nope, we're all set. We're kind of tired of Charlotte, and I think Becky's kind of in that same stratosphere where she's a longtime veteran, and the crowd, probably wouldn't have taken back to her once she did come back. So they're like, yeah, let's get ahead of it and make you this a shocking heel turn. I do kind of see what you're saying, where it's coming out a little bit of nowhere. But we do have a looming Bayley return. I think they'll have a great feud. Maybe like we'll have a solid SummerSlam match. However, prediction wise, I will be going with the man, Becky Lynch, the new IC champion. I think this has potential to be a feud where Lyra will get it back eventually. Maybe Saturday night's main event, or maybe right before SummerSlam. Maybe Bayley will cost Becky the title down the road. But however, I do think Becky will overcome Lyra. Backlash May 10th. I'm putting 4 confidence points on this. Yes, I think having the first ever Irish Intercontinental Champion, and then having the second ever Irish Intercontinental Championship is kind of funny.
There was one note where Lyra said, which like I think Lyra's, this isn't me just like picking the one, because like Lyra's promo was strong.
Really?
Ultimately.
Yeah, I was surprised.
But the one thing that I thought was funny is she was going to Becky and she was like, oh, so, you're the first SmackDown World Champion and you're the first, she said another accolade. I think Royal Rumble winner, maybe she said.
Or tag champ.
Or no, you're the first woman to main event and win WrestleMania. Yep. So she said those two accomplishments, which let me repeat those. You are the first ever SmackDown Women's World or WWE Champion, a World Championship, and you main evented the first woman to main event and win a WrestleMania. 2 accomplishments that people can't have again. Which and then Lyra went, and they're also like you said up here, which is more so the point. And then Lyra went, well, I'm the first women's IC champion, and it's like, and Becky still wins that. Like, you know what I mean? That's main event at WrestleMania and WWE champion first ever versus like IC champ. Becky won that. Easily. It's like, and I think I get what she was doing, where she was like you're jealous of me because now I'm becoming like the new Becky Lynch, and maybe you want to be the first. Like you're a heel, so you want to be the first. You want to be the best. I get it. It was a little funny to me of just like that seemed like pretty pro Becky accomplishments.
Shame on me though, because I thought Lyra didn't have it on the stick really. I'm not familiar with her game, but I've been pleasantly surprised, and she's good. She's great in the ring and good in the mic. So I think this is Becky Lynch, a big time star, big time player in the game. Where this is, I could easily see Lyra winning this match too. To be honest, I do have 4 confidence points on Becky, but I think there's some legs where this mid card title could start trading back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, we did. We did just see the women's U.S. title change hands. It feels like we're kind of getting to the point where it's like, okay, the first people to have it, like we're getting past that point. This is Becky's returning match as well, to your credit.
And there's got to be a title change in this card somewhere, right?
That's the thing. God, Becky, I don't want to just copy you.
No, I mean,
but
again, I totally understand.
As much as big of a retain as this would be for Lyra, Becky it even just goes back to like my conversation about like how I'm kind of a lot more off the thing of like, oh, former world champions in mid-card. Where like Becky getting this IC title would, not that Lyra's done a great job with it, but Becky, would just kind of bring it to that next level. Her just being Becky with that greater star power.
And for Lyra, it's always, the chase is always better anyway.
Sure.
And she's not going to go for the world title immediately, I don't think. So I think Lyra, going back to the chase of the IC title makes some sense too.
I'm gonna stake my claim with Becky. But I'll tell you now, it's going to be a low confidence point. Okay. I'll tell you now. I don't have that set up yet.
No question.
But, okay. We'll move on to the main event of the night. We have, for the undisputed WWE Championship, John Cena versus Randy Orton. Woo! Who you got and why?
I mean, first time matchup between these two. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Couple of young bloods. Couple of
young bloods. Little inexperience on these two guys.
Yeah, you think they're a little green, so it's kind of surprised they're giving them. But they trust them. They're like, you know what? We trust you.
We'll give them the opportunity. We'll see what they can do.
They were great in NXT,
cutting their teeth here. Too many cooks. These guys. I think this is like the 20th or 21st matchup between these two legends, these two icons. Again, they're a bit old. Can we get a good match? Will we get a good match? match. Doesn't matter if you get a match because again, these are two megastars.
That's raw.
Yeah, you know, like this is complete nostalgia. This is me. Ages, I mean, because again, it's been going on for so many years. Ages 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Me, like, these are my guys. These are the building blocks of my wrestling fanhood, my wrestling childhood, if you will. Big match, but you know, it is different though. Big match, John's a baddie, and we got Randy Orton in his hometown. Good guy. Louis. And it's been a fun promo build.
Great
whatever.
build.
Yeah,
great build.
A little short, unfortunately, but again, what can you do?
We're getting Cena on SmackDown though.
Woo!
So
yeah, can't wait for that. Is John Moonsault live streaming SmackDown? You think?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Let's go. But yeah,
unless my friends are like, "Do you want to drink 12 beers somewhere?" But, yeah.
that's always in the works too. Who knows? Yeah, but for prediction, I just don't see in the universe where Big Match John loses to Randy Orton here.
I agree.
And of course, the WWE loves to have their babyface lose in their hometowns.
Yep. It's a massive, Jesus. It's a massive heel opportunity for Cena.
Yeah.
Which I like because like the crowd. I'll say that last night though. Omaha, shout out Omaha.
Yes.
Played their role so well.
Hot crowd.
Booed who needed to be booed. Did not sing Seth's song once.
Really? Oh my God.
From what I heard.
Omaha, the intelligence.
Shout out you, Omaha.
I didn't even put that together. That's so true. Wow.
Because Paul Heyman was mocking it a little bit and was kind of singing it and was trying to get it going, maybe to like, you know, whatever. And everyone was chanting yeet back.
Oh, let's go.
Good job, Omaha.
Shockingly, he got asshole chants too. I know
Paul
Heyman is a bad guy and he's tanner than ever. I hope he keeps that going too. I mean, of course, there's kind of a line you don't want to cross.
You don't
want to be too tan, but I think it's really hamming up the heel persona and like he looks good too, you know, nice little tan, never hurt nobody, but
point being is like this is such a huge opportunity for because it's like Cena, the boos and cheers for Cena is different than the boos and cheers for Seth a little bit, and it's just in the sense of like because Cena has more of that nostalgia and casual people are going to want to cheer Cena regardless, but if you're in St. Louis, it's Randy Orton. I know a lot of people maybe wanted Randy as his final opponent, which isn't out of the cards, I don't think. But you're not passing up the opportunity to have over the moon face Randy Orton in his hometown, and you get those crazy boos that you've been wanting and needing for this heel turn in Cena. So you can do that at St. Louis. It's perfect. I'm also going Cena for all the same reasons you said. Not to be maybe a pessimist about it. And I kind of agree with people where, yes, is it one of the best wrestling feuds of all time? It's historic. It's iconic. Historically, has it been that good in ring? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I watched their SummerSlam match this morning, actually. SummerSlam 07, I believe it was. And yeah, these are, you know, they have good in-ring chemistry. I remember on the Monday Night Raw last night, too, they were doing a package where, like, someone compared their I Quit match to Austin Brett. And I'm like, all right, dude, relax. But, you know, you would think that, you know, again, these guys, Cena's not an every week performer, Randy at the tail end of his career. But you would think these guys will have chemistry and they will work well together because they've been in so many matches and they will take care of each other. But I still think we'll get something pretty decent here.
I think we'll get something decent too. I think they'll lean on a slower pace and maybe a little more just like they'll be a little more brutal, which I'll appreciate. But like, you know, I do understand and see where people are coming from. Where it's like yeah, like on paper, nostalgia wise, and like I think they'll deliver. Like it's all great, but it is interesting to look back, and I think people have to be wary and take this match with a grain of salt. Where it's like it is at the end of the day a Cena Orton match. Years ago, like when this was like, you know, match number 16, people weren't necessarily excited for Randy Cena. Now that time has passed, like, you know, I am in this camp where I am excited for Cena Randy, but I am also I know that this isn't these two guys in their prime, and there's, you know, all this to say is like I'm keeping my expectations I don't know what's the word, limited or whatever, you know. So,
I'm almost a little worried for them. Like I'm like, kind of room for them both to just get through the match and don't get hurt. Like, I know it sounds a little corny.
Have
like
a good one, have a competitive one.
But like, yeah, just like that's the thing too with John's match against Cody at WrestleMania. My biggest critique was like I can hear John talk during the whole match, so I would like him to. Hopefully, he got some kind of feedback of like, hey, quiet down in there. These cameras that they're using are crystal clear, and the microphone picked you up, basically calling each spot in that match at Mania.
You know what's funny though? Like obviously, like I prefer, like it does take me out of it. It's almost now just like a charming thing that happens. You know what I mean? You kind of see it now. You're just like, there's that classic Cena.
Shinsuke now.
Shinsuke now. Shinsuke now. Oh man.
Yes.
Shoulder tackle. Armbar. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Ultimately, now that the card is more shaped up, like I was kind of dogging on Backlash maybe a week or two ago, I'm looking forward to it a lot more now. So it wasn't really taking down my.
Oh, I'm putting.
What's your confidence point?
5 because it has to be. And I mean, again, John Cena's winning this. Although, who's to say we get a John Cena classic heel low blow loss to keep the title?
I could see something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't think like a Travis Scott's coming out, but like
certainly not Dwayne, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something happens, even at bare minimum, like you said, we get a low blow, whether the ref's looking or not. Maybe it's a intentional disqualification, so Cena keeps the title. I
just thought of too, like, kind of weird how Paul Heyman was able to tell Sami Zayn, like, hey, go to SmackDown and I'll get you a guaranteed world title shot against whoever wins this match. John Cena being a bad guy, could he be the third man in the potential Breaker, Heyman, Rollins faction?
I hope not.
Yeah, that'd be kind of corny. I'm not saying I would love it, but I'm saying that could be something.
Because then it's like even more confusing because it's like, I thought you were with The Rock and now you're with them, and The Rock and Seth had their feud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do need to figure. I don't know. I hope they not just selling a dead horse, but like we gotta figure out what the fuck this Rock shit is, or like, are they just like, I don't want, like, are we just gonna forget the fucking selling your soul thing? Are we just supposed to forget that and like? They should have just not. They could have done all this heel Cena stuff without all that Rock selling your soul stuff. I know we're so far removed from it, but it's like
it still rings true.
He's the champion, so it's
president. Or if they did the heel turn at Mania.
Sure, that's something too. Honestly,
yeah.
All right, so looking at my confidence points, I'm also going Cena for 5. Then I'm going. Let's see, I got Gunther, Becky, Jacob, Dom. Give me. Give me Gunther. No. I'm going between Jacob and Gunther. I don't want to take too much time.
Okay.
Give me Jacob 4, Gunther 3, Becky 1, Dom 2.
Okay,
that's where we're at.
And to remind the folks, Jacob 1, Dom 3, Pat 2, Becky 4, and Cena 5 for moi.
Bang. I thought we had, I guess there wasn't too many. There's some bonus points, but like it was really just like, is Goldberg going to be in the match? Yes or no? But like, anyway, so get in the Discord if you want to join those predictions and compete with everyone in the Discord. It's a lot of fun in there. Shout out everyone in there. Okay, we have a little bit of time left in the show before we head over to the Patreon. I don't know. You have anything off the top of your head that you want to? I wasn't really gonna, obviously Raw was last night. I don't know if you were like, oh, I want, like, is there anything you want to talk about? You're like, oh, we got to chat about this.
So, I mean, yeah, Raw was pretty spectacular last night. We got Sheamus returning. What are your thoughts on the big Shamo?
Great. Love it. Unexpected. Was he injured or something? Was he just taking time off?
I think he might just be taking time off. The last time we seen was him in the Royal Rumble.
Deserved.
So, yeah.
Looks great. I think I like this. I like and dislike this like Theory and Grace and stuff where it's like we're crawling to this split.
I've never seen a tag team breakup crawl like this before. And I guess that's the intention. Like that's like what they're doing. And I also hate this too where they did the whole storyline of Waller. Oh, I got booked for a match, and then he gave it to Austin Theory.
Funny. Yeah.
It was funny, and Waller, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite heels. Where like changed instead of Waller, Weasel. Grayson Weasel, because that guy's a weasel. But Austin Theory, like, it's a surprise. And then, it's Sheamus. And not to say Sheamus isn't a scary man to have a match with, but Austin Theory, you shouldn't be like super upset that you took the match and it's Sheamus. Like, who do you think it was going to be? Again, if it was like Braun Breaker, perhaps you should be pooping your pants a bit more. But Sheamus is someone you've like fought against numerous times already. So like,
yeah, Sheamus hasn't been like Sheamus is a monster. He's a beast, but like he hasn't been built up to like a hey, unfortunately just got released, but like that's usually a spot for a Braun Strowman or maybe even a Bronson Reed where it's like, oh man, I'm facing this big massive guy, or now maybe a Rusev,
Yeah, and it was a back and forth match. Like it wasn't totally a squash.
Where like Sheamus is just someone who you would have a regular match with on a Raw or SmackDown. So it wasn't like but I do appreciate it for the return. People are speculating that, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller split, and Theory is the third man. Been seeing a lot of talk with Theory being the third man, which that I'm a little bit more on that side. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
The Randy Orton comparisons have been there since birth for Austin Theory. Let's be honest. He came out the womb with an 8-pack and doing this, right?
Yeah.
But for Sheamus too, do you think? Let me ask you this. Let me put you on the spot here.
Talk to me.
Before the Irish man puts up his tights and his boots and calls it a day, will he accomplish his goal of winning the Intercontinental Championship?
I think so.
For the Grand Slam.
I think so.
I think that's something that's been kind of a storyline thing, and something that I think he's definitely wanted.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, because we were like, last year maybe it was like the months leading into Mania, it was really playing on that story. He didn't get it. One
of the greatest triple threat matches of all time, him, Gunther, and Drew at Mania. So he definitely deserves it from that. But he's still on that chase. Still hasn't done it.
We're a little far. Like, I don't know how he's gonna circle into like Dom Penta Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna need to kind of go down the road there a little bit. I think Sheamus has got some time left. He deserves it. If there's anyone that deserves it, like a company guy, reliable, dependable. I hope he gets it. I think he will. But yeah, it's obviously time's it's a race against time as always. So, but
what do you think of Roxanne versus Io Sky? We got blessed. It was a pretty good match. Then
of course,
post match you had. I was kind of shocked because they did the whole respect thing. Io Sky got the victory. I'm like, oh, look at Roxanne. Like, it kind of
loved it. I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah, let's go.
They got me.
And then boom, there comes Julia. And then I guess next week on Monday Night Raw, it's kind of a loaded card.
Dude,
Raw
Raw's
on Netflix is awesome. Yeah, we're back in the glory days here.
Sucks.
Yeah. Get your shit together. Besides that TLC match, but they don't do that every week. But yeah, next week we're getting Julia and Roxanne versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Have you heard of her?
Oh my god, I'm fired up.
Why isn't that on Backlash? But you gotta spread out stuff, whatever. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I thought this match is great.
This like division, this like match, like sure, it is a little confusing that Julia and Roxanne are becoming more and more prominent on the main roster. There's no official call up, but I am loving this. Roxanne and Io have so much chemistry, which I think some people have a problem with. I loved the finish sequence with all the roll up pins and the different shit. I fucking loved it because it was so smooth. It was so quick. They worked well together. Like, it's different when like people try it and they misstep and like people kind of roll out of pins and like it's whatever. But every single like all the bridges and like all the creative pins fucking worked perfect. I love this. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Julia, so I love her interaction. I believe, obviously this is coming out Wednesday, so we're recording this before, but I believe it's Julia versus Jordan Grace, the number one contendership for Stephanie's title. I think that's happening tonight. This was a ball and a half. Again, I not sound like a broken record every single week, but Io fucking Sky. Oh, the greatest to ever do it.
No
the greatest
question.
in-ring performer to ever be in that women's division. This is great. I mean, it's the tag match is gonna fucking rock next week. Yeah,
no question. And then also, I gotta shout out my boy and I shout out the WWE social team because I'm not sure they're running through this for my boy, but Rusev Aggression, big meaty man slapping meat. Him and Otis, not a terrible match. Some legit back and forth.
5 more minutes.
Yeah.
I need 5 more minutes of them. That's what I was nervous about going into this. Is that it was gonna be like a squash match? No, Otis is a big guy who can wrestle. This was great stuff. You know what I didn't like? I did not like when Tozawa came in the ring and was like, hey, no, fight me right now. Like, that's my buddy. and Rusev turned away and left. And I get it. It was like, he's a heel. Yeah. He did run back in and brutalize Tozawa. It's fucking Tozawa. It's Tozawa. Absolutely. Why wouldn't you take either, like, because he Hulk Hogan his shit, ripping off the shirt. Either A, take the match and just brutalize him, and you can still do all, because like, it was like the whole like post-match beatdown and like whatever. You put Otis back in that lock or whatever. You can do all that while not turning away from a Tozawa. I didn't like that. And not that it came off that he was like afraid, but it was a little lame because Rusev is supposed to be this like, he's kind of what Gunther was with the IC title, where he's running shit. He's this big guy and like, you know, he's the strongest ever.
The Redeemer.
And and to need to jump Tozawa is pretty lame to me. That's where I'm at on that. But other than that, I'm loving this Rusev return.
Me too. I'm glad he returned back from Abyss Elite Wrestling.
Right, yeah. They're like, he hasn't had a match in 5 years, and he's done nothing since.
He's been in the Abyss.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could add a Backlash match, maybe it'd be a short squash match, but why not have Rusev versus handicap match? Rusev versus That'd be fun. Alpha Academy. And you know what I would do, because I'm a big fan of her, and she proved to me just the other week that she's pretty good in the stick. I would have Maxine Dupree turn on these fellas and join up with Rusev, kind of in a Lana role, if you will. And because I think she's beautiful, I think she's very talented, and I think she would thrive. I think to me too, she just looks like a heel.
And Rusev needs a tall blonde in his corner,
obviously, because who doesn't? I need a tall blonde in my corner at all times. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Love you, honey.
No question. And then two, again, do we have more time?
Sure, go ahead.
Jey Uso and Seth. I don't think we talked about that too much.
I guess we didn't dive. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that and we'll sign off.
The promo for Paul Heyman. I don't know how he does it. Just like the emotion.
I'm right. Oh my! I feel him.
Yeah.
God, this is what we were talking about this last week. Where like it's tough. Which again, shout out Omaha, but it's tough for this faction to get booed because they're so sick and so justified and so cool and so right. Paul Heyman is fucking right. He's like, my best friend Punk put me in this unfair position. The tribal chief, like you know, Jay, you didn't warn me about the tribal chief either. Like I've been manipulated and used by these guys. Now I'm finally with Seth, and he's like, why am I out? He's like, Paul Heyman, always the scumbag, always the asshole. Why am I always that position? This time, no, I'm right.
I think he's so really diving right. He was diving into some like real emotion.
I love
because he gets constantly slack for his kind of scumbagginess and how he ran the ECW promotion, not paying wrestlers and stuff like that. And you know, people always are talking to the grapevine. People always have something to say. And Paul Heyman, like, really, in that moment, I was like, damn, he's spitting right now. And the emotion was on his face. But of course, he baited my boy Jey Uso into a world title match on.
I thought that was so funny. He walks back and he just like, he took the bait.
Yeah,
he took the bait. And Seth was like, all according to plan.
Yeah, it kind of made Jay kind of look a little stupid. I know WWE loves making the babyface be a little silly, but you know, Jay's prideful though too. At the same time, and he's about that shit. I don't think
it made him look stupid. I think it made him look like, I'm a fighting champ. I have a lot to prove. And also, Paul Heyman is such a manipulative person.
Yeah,
where it's like it's hard to out mind games Paul Heyman.
Right, yeah. He made the points of like, you know, your cousin Roman Reigns and stuff like that. So I'm sure that played into the emotion of Jay, like, yeah, all right, we'll do it tonight. And it was weird too after you know, Seth left the room and he's talking just to Braun. And, kind of a long-winded just way of like, yeah, we did it for Seth. Like, Seth has a huge opportunity tonight, but he kind of spent like a good 2 minutes just kind of like right next to Braun Breaker's ear saying like, I don't know if that was on purpose of kind of putting the seeds of like, you know, Paul really sees the potential in Braun, and maybe Braun will be, you know, kind of his Brock in a sense in the future, and maybe like, you know, when it comes to shove way down the road for this faction, because I don't want to get him way ahead of myself, but you know, Paul might choose Braun over Seth, but I don't know, that was kind of interesting to me, that little 2-minute little extraness of that promo.
To me, that was just an opportunity to like tell the story to the audience, you know, like I because he was just talking, like Braun like just had like
just kind of looking in the distance, like
staring off, and Paul was like talking at him.
Yeah,
to me that was just a opportunity to just like lay out the story flat and be like a pretty baseline, be like, here's our motivation, without needing to do like a promo and whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
While it did come off kind of like odd, but like that's how I took that.
Okay,
you know?
Yeah. And then the match itself, which Jey Uso can wrestle. IWC in shambles. This man is very talented. You have one bad match against your brother at WrestleMania, and all of a sudden your career's work is out the window. Apparently, this guy is phenomenal. And it wasn't just Seth Rollins. This was a back and forth match with high impact moves and great selling. Some of the bumps that Jay took too. I'm like, the couple. I think like the suplex off the turnbuckle and then kind of into another like folding suplex and just like, oh my damn. And then like the near falls too. Like really
good.
Like, got me 4 times.
Granted, like it was, I don't know whose fault it was, but like the first stomp didn't really hit. So like thank God Jay kicked out of that, which was still like regardless if it's like a half-ass stomp or not. Even Cole, which I was glad they said it, Cole was like, didn't get all of it.
Yes, truth.
Jay kicking out of the stomp. I think they nailed the spear into the pedigree.
Oh,
like that can always look kind of clunky.
Yes, totally agree.
I thought they nailed that. I think Jay's spear is looking better and better. I loved, which I've been kind of saying it to be funny, but I loved the springboard into the super kick. A la a Shawn Michaels Shelton Benjamin sort, you know what I mean? Yep. Obviously, kind of half joking, but like the spot was still there, so it was still a good spot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how on the soapbox we really want to get, but like, yeah, the whole narrative of Seth Rollins carried, and this match was nothing without Seth, and like I saw one comment that was like, if Seth wasn't in this match would be nothing, and I was like,
oh my God,
Well, yeah, you can't wrestle yourself. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's the thing. It kind of goes back. It reminded me of like people, the classic ladder match, Razor Ramon for Shawn. Everyone just goes like, "Oh, Shawn could have wrestled a broom." This and that. Like, no, Razor Ramon in that match matters. Like, I don't know. It's that term, takes 2 to tango.
That term gets thrown around too much, where it's like, and they the greats they say it about deserve it because they are great and they do elevate their opponents. But I think that language is now just getting too like, it's getting past like because I think Seth elevated Jay to a point that most other and no other wrestler has yet. Absolutely, I agree with that. But that doesn't mean that Seth carried. Seth elevated Jay and Jay performed well. I don't know how you can watch that and think that Jay didn't perform well and put on a good match. Sure, he doesn't have like this like G1 climax moveset, right? But he, like, a big part of wrestling is the emotion and the near falls, the selling it on your face, or whatever. And that in this match, you saw that was great. I was stressed out during this match.
Yeah,
and it's like
I thought Seth was gonna win, man. That's a few times.
Arguably, the more important part of wrestling is conveying that emotion, and making people feel something, or can this happen? Can this not happen? Whatever. And they did a great job, and that all wasn't on Seth. It is crazy and delusional if you think it was just Seth, and all the credit in the world to Seth. Seth is, like I said, I can't emphasize enough, where Seth got that out of Jay. Just because he got that out of Jay doesn't mean that Jay also didn't fucking perform at that level that Seth brought him up to. I don't understand the disconnect. It's shocking to me, and it's disrespectful. Look, and granted, sorry, I'm kind of just going off. No,
you're 110%
right. People will even discredit him as always a tag team wrestler. The Usos have had classics with the New Day. Did anyone carry that match? Did Kofi Kingston carry that match? Did Jimmy Uso carry that match? Like, Jey Uso was still in that match and being a part of that match, making it great. It's like, I think my reason for bringing that up is like, he's in the spotlight as a single star. You're watching more of the wrestling, and there's no one to tag out, whatever. But you're still a great he was a great wrestler back then. He can still wrestle now, and so there's no, I don't know. I'm kind of just going down the train of thought.
Talk your shit, King.
But man, I don't know. It's really annoying. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, like, where are you at?
It's just IWC clickbait. They just love to hate the thing that's popular, and of course it's kind of goes to like his in-ring style, and then of course to the yeet, and how kind of like, I don't want.
I don't like Yeet. I don't like the
right.
Yeet.
And how people kind of look at that and kind of diminish him and his character. Oh, he's just a Yeet man, whatever. It's like no, the crowd really loves it and it's a fun thing, but it shouldn't hinder his respect of to be as an in-ring competitor, and it is kind of bother me a lot.
But I don't like the Yeet chant. I think it's just like a 2012 Vine thing.
Yeah.
I think it's ultimately pretty stupid. However, how can you say it's like, how can you really discredit it when like the goal, if you ask any wrestler, if they could have a catchphrase that people are chanting, a catchphrase put on merch, that a thing that gets the credit, they're all like, that's the goal. We want to connect with the audience. Whenever Jay's doing that, sure. Like again, I don't like. I think Yeet is a little corny. It's a little like outdated, whatever. However, I would never say he's just a Yeet man. It's like you're dogging on him for being popular with the crowd. That's the goal of fucking everyone. Yeah. What are you talking about?
And that's why you go to the crowds and they're all going crazy eating. You go on the internet and what gets clicks, hating the thing that's popular and having that discourse. So it's unfortunate. And then to go back to kind of wrap it up a bit.
Yep. I go on for another 30 minutes about it. I could go on for another 30 minutes.
Hell yeah, brother.
But yeah, get us steer us.
And the thing is like, I was super worried that Seth was going to win. And I say worried too, it's kind of a comment to Seth because I am a fan of the faction and especially Seth right now, but I didn't want him to win the world title here at least. I was like, oh shit, no, come on, Jay. You keep just like, shout out Public Enemy Podcast.
Sure.
They tweeted out,
friends of the show.
It was a tweet like Seth night and it was like the whole video of like John Cena challenging Rey Mysterio, challenging Rey Mysterio, and kind of being like, you kind of punked him a little bit, stole his title in one night type of thing, or kind of a short run for Jay.
Which made it, because I was on the edge of my fucking seat. I was like, is Seth going to take it off him? Oh my God, is Seth going to take it off him? It was so convincing, And with my mindset, and I totally thought like Logan Paul and Jey Uso would be at Backlash, and still might, but I was under the impression that was going to happen. So, and then Jay started off the night saying like, I know Logan Paul here. So when eventually we get to it being official, and shout out GM Adam Pearce. I'm sorry, I'm such a sucker for like, wrestlers make a match, but we gotta check in the back to see if the GM will allow it, because that's like reality and how things actually will. Wrestlers don't make matches, whatever. So when Jay was like, Logan Paul here tonight, I'm like, oh, okay, so world title match, cool, but Logan Paul will probably come out, attack Jay. He doesn't want Seth to win or doesn't care, just wants to focus on his world title match this Saturday. But no, we didn't get Logan Paul interfering. We got a returning, which like I'm a little don't love him coming back so soon after being decimated last week, but we get a crazy Sami Zayn pop for the save, which was fun. He has the ribs taped up, and that was cool to see. And he was selling, and again got speared again, which I'm sure he has even more broke. His broken ribs are probably broken. But here's God, Sammy's stressing me out, brother. Oh man,
you think for a turn? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because like 2 weeks ago when like him and Jimmy, it was a week it was post Mania.
Stare down.
Yeah, and it's kind of like him looking at Jay, looking at the title, stand behind him, and even not to get ahead of it, but like Punk came back and like Sammy in the black hoodie and Jay's climbing up and he's awfully close to that turnbuckle, and whenever that fucking camera zooms in and they zoom in so you don't see like the guy doing some shit, I'm like, oh no. And then obviously to close it out, which I'll let you get to Punk in a second, but he was standing like behind Punk and looking at Sam. I'm thinking Sammy turns. And I wouldn't be shocked if maybe a Sami Zayn joins the faction and is the third man, because Sammy has that bloodline connection with Paul, where for a while Sammy was the odd man out. For a while Jay didn't let him in, or and Roman didn't let him in. And then the turn and whatever. So he's got that connection with Paul.
Best friends with Seth too.
Sure, that too. Yeah. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I think that would be a lot of fun. But anyway, get to keep going.
Look in my eyes. Yep. What do you see? CM Punk returns. I forgot about this dude. I think he was saying like he did the course, like great social media work, kind of saying like, I'm not Raw tonight. I'm working.
Oh, did he? That's
I'm
funny.
working out in like Illinois somewhere, whatever. Yeah. Nope. That's awesome. Returning. I think the first time we've seen him since Raw after Mania. And
was he even there? Was he at Raw after Mania? Because I know he was at obviously Mania. Did we see him that Raw after Mania?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember.
Because he got attacked by the new faction.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, but still, first time we see him since then.
And he comes, steel chair, takes out Braun, and then gets in the ring. And then I don't think I heard a bell actually, which is kind of funny.
I've been hearing people say that.
But
yeah,
it's implied. We know the match is thrown out. It's donezo. But yeah, so CM Punk, I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it.
My initial because he did get taken out by the faction. It all makes sense. A small bit of me was like, I'm glad Punk's back. Which, granted, I think maybe a little bit more time would have been a little bit a sort of miss you thing. However, you are missing Cody. Drew wasn't on SmackDown last. You do need Roman. You do need some stars. I think, which I'm not. This isn't like a hard opinion. I maybe would have liked Punk to do something else for a little bit and then come back to the Seth stuff. Because it's been a lot of him and Seth, which is like maybe I'm also just like don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Because it's like this is a fantastic feud and it's only getting better, so like who am I to complain about it? But I think it would have been interesting. And granted, I am just saying this is like, we just got Sam, we just got Punk involvement, so like I'm kind of saying this all before the story even gets any tracks,
right?
But I would have been maybe a little curious, maybe this is a conversation to have later when we kind of get through the story of maybe Punk should have been removed from Seth for a little bit and do some Seth stuff without Punk for a little bit.
I hear
and
that.
then maybe get back.
I'm hoping though that, because I actually totally agree with you, but maybe they break it off where it's Jay and Seth continue feuding and slash Sammy, and we get some Braun Breaker Punk matches. We get some Braun Breaker,
sure.
New Paul Heyman guy, kind of go handle my light work, go handle CM Punk.
Yeah, but you have to get through Braun to get through Seth. Yeah.
And maybe we get some Braun Breaker wins over CM Punk, who's like still a legit superstar, and it matters to beat someone of his stature. So maybe I totally agree with you, but maybe we get some Braun Breaker singles matches against CM Punk. So maybe we could do that.
People are saying now, because the ending of Raw was 3 versus 2. Granted, you had Paul, but he's not a wrestler. You had Punk, Jay, Sammy, all in the ring. Seemingly not super like they weren't hitting the shield pose or nothing, not super together necessarily. But then on the other side, you had a Seth and Braun, which is kind of giving more of the conversation too. They need a third man if you want to do. People are speculating now 6-man tag, Saturday Night's Main Event.
Ooh.
I don't know if everything needs to lead to just like you have 3 people, we have 3 people,
right?
But if it is going to be this 3 of a Punk, Jay, Sammy kind of going against them, first of all, love it. But it does kind of lend to the speculation of like, okay, what's the third man situation? Is someone turning? Is someone getting added? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's all good stuff. An all-timer of a Raw. I really, really think so. It was fucking awesome. Where are you at?
I'm sorry. I put this on my new Dropkick profile. Do you know what Dropkick is?
Yeah.
Do you not?
Hot take, I don't fuck with it.
Really? Why?
God. So what? All right. Are people rating every match they see? Like I just came from Raw, right? And am I rating? Let's say there's 4 or 5 matches on Raw. Am I putting all 5 of those matches on Dropkick?
You can also do like per show. So what I made a list of my thing where shows where Jimmy from the Q was at. So I had to look back so I've been to I guess like 9 or 10 wrestling events my whole life, or WWE events I should say. Oh, actually no, because AEW's on there too. And I think this is kind of a cool thing just to keep track of and share opinions. And so I brought this up because I rated this Monday Night Raw for Monday Night Raw because again I gave.
Oh, you could rate the whole show.
Yeah, the whole show. So I rated I went back and went through some of my favorite pay-per-views. I gave of course WrestleMania 17 5 stars, but to compare a pay-per-view and just a regular Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, like I can put a 5-star for this Raw, which I think I just gave it like a 4 stars, which I think is pretty accurate. It's a really good Raw.
Sure.
But it's like a 4-star Raw isn't the equivalent, in my opinion, as a 4-star pay-per-view per se.
I agree.
But I like it. You so you're not on it? You
I don't know.
No?
I maybe I'm just being a pessimist guy. I don't know.
Well, you're on Letterboxd, right?
That's the thing. That's why it made me a little shocked because I love Letterboxd.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for. I'm a very organized person. I love like me and my friends. I have an Excel spreadsheet where I have all my friends rank and rate pizza. Like I love.
It's so cool.
I love an Excel spreadsheet. I love grading stuff. I love like organizing stuff by like best to worst, whatever.
Nice.
So like you think this would be like it'd be perfect for me. I don't know. I'm sure I'll end up downloading it. I don't think anyone's talking about Dropkick in 3 weeks, to be honest with you. But
okay.
I don't know. I think I gotta look more into it and see what it's about. But for some reason, it seems like too much to me. If you're going about it where like you watch a Raw and you're rating like every single match you see on Raw, which granted, it's, Dave Meltzer, every in 5 days his star ratings will come out for today's Raw. So maybe that's not out of the realm of like craziness. I don't know. It seems, I think it's just overwhelming to me. It's a little overwhelming to me.
Fair.
Because then I also like, I'm going to want to, because I think like I would need to there's a lot of matches I would need to rewatch to get like an accurate, I know what my 5 stars are going to be, like Taker, Shawn both of them are going to be up there.
Yeah.
Shawn Rick is going to be there. Some of the TLC 1 and 2 is going to be, there's some all-timers I know, but like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of homework maybe. I don't know.
I even too already fell into a troll thing where I went to December to Dismember.
Funny, yeah.
I gave it 5 stars. I'm like, cinema.
I do appreciate, I think Drew McIntyre has an account and he like the people making lists of like, there was a one list where I was like, matches I was watching when I found out I was getting cheated on.
Oh my
Drew
God.
McIntyre made a list of like all the matches I got screwed or something. Like, it's fun. I get it. I just don't know. Like, for instance, like we're going to watch Backlash this weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much is like would incline me to like after Backlash, like then get on my phone, like rate the match 5 stars or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like an added another thing that I already kind of just do via like a podcast. I don't know. I'm curious to hear more of your experience on the next couple weeks about it. Sure. And like maybe I'll end up downloading it. I don't know, but off the top of my head, it just seems like another, and maybe it's just me just being annoying. It's another just thing. Yeah. It's another thing on my phone.
I hate downloading more apps.
Yeah,
so I hear you.
It's just another thing.
I totally hear you.
But like I say, it might just me just being fucking get off my lawn. Oh, what's this?
I'm super mad I didn't invent it. I think it's a great like idea.
That's the thing. Yeah. I don't like. I'm not. I do think it's a great idea. It's like to the credit. It's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm with you. It's like, I'm surprised this hasn't been a thing already. Mm. Like, I know you can like go on like cage match,
right?
Like a pretty app on your phone of just like to to keep track of stuff. It seems like a no-brainer. Is it owned by like the same company?
It's aesthetically pleasing too. It's a pretty nice app. I don't know. I actually followed the developers on Twitter today. I retweeted them. Yeah, because down below the way bottom it's like developer Justin and then whatever his name is, and then like the main account. And it only has like 500 followers too. Like it's not like a big time.
It must have just come out.
I think so. Yeah.
I wonder. It must not be the. Let's see. 4. It only has 6. This is it, right?
Yeah, actually, I couldn't find it in my app store. I had to go through like the Safari.
I think because it's so new.
Yeah, no.
Interesting. I wonder. Okay, no, copyright Dropkick Inc. I'm curious. This is like getting into the weeds of it, but I wonder like what the legality between like Letterboxd. Like, I wonder if there's gonna be any sort of like you can't do that because it's like it looks like Letterboxd. I'll say this now. It is. Oh, even like the star rate, like the layout is exactly like Letterboxd. But I'm curious. Who knows, like, these days, what company is behind what,
Truth.
Wow. I don't know. I'll give it, I don't know. The more I'm looking at it, because I do love Letterboxd, I think I'd be more so at first to do, like, treat it like Letterboxd, where I'm less so grading matches and I'm grading shows.
Yeah.
Or I'm grading PLEs or pay-per-views. I think that's what I seem to like about it. To me, it just seems too stressful. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
It's a lot.
To rank every single match. Can people follow you on it? Is it like a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Got 8 followers.
Hell fucking yeah. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, the more we're talking about it, the more I'm like, maybe I'll down. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'll have it downloaded by the end of today.
Okay.
Is the thing. Yeah. Now that we're, I don't know. Interesting.
Add your boy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think also I don't know. Maybe I just like disliking stuff off the. I need to be proven why I should like it. Maybe
fair enough.
I don't
totally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That is today's episode. Head over to the Patreon. We're gonna chat more. We have some questions from you. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. $5 a month. Get the whole back catalog and new episodes every single week. It's the best way to support the channel, and you get lumped in on the Discord when you join automatically. You just gotta connect to your accounts. We have merchandise in the description. Please check that stuff out. We have Sweep City stuff. It's all summer themed. So check that out. We'd appreciate that. What else?
Backlash.
Oh yeah, good plug. Backlash stream this Saturday, 7:00, I believe it starts. We'll be right here watching it with all of you. We had a very successful 2 nights of WrestleMania, so we're excited to run it back for Backlash and hang out with everyone. with that said, we'll get out of here. We'll see you over on the Patreon, folks. I'll give you one of these to sign off. We'll see you over there. Bang. Life just gets faster as you get older. Yes. So you're still super young. So your 20s are going to last forever. You know, SummerSlam, the cheapest SummerSlam ticket is $400.
The largest gate.
Like, I think I'm slowly getting into that EO Sky stand.
Any negative press about EO, you're going to show out?
No, fuck you. He's like, I would die for Drake May.